Hello, how's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. It is Friday, the 2nd of May, and I genuinely wish we would be starting this on an up note, basically, but of course we cannot because yesterday, after Europa League, after the Conference League games, it got even worse regarding if you are especially an Arsenal fan. Let's just put it that way because United absolutely annihilated Athletic Bilbao 3-0. Spurs won against Bodo Glimt 3-1. Chelsea 4-1 against the Swedish Gardens and all that stuff. Obviously, there are second legs, but at least in Chelsea game, I expect nothing. I would assume that also United game is over. The Spurs game is a bit different because it's on AstroTurf and everything. The game is in Norway, and Bodo Glimt are very, very strong here. But potentially, we are looking at an English final in Europa League. Spurs vs United, and we are looking at Chelsea, of course, in Conference League final, which overall is massive pain. Let's be real. All three teams have regressed over the years as Arsenal have gotten better, allegedly, of course. And they are actually winning more than us, which is actually quite insane to think about, yet hence it's true for some weird goddamn reason. So, if Spurs win Europa League, oh my goodness gracious, I might genuinely disappear for a year. If United win it, well, it is what it is, but still, it's gonna be a pain. Chelsea winning it, well, they're gonna do the treble in Europe. They're gonna win Conference League, Europa League, and Champions League. That's at least how they are spinning it, so I might as well go with it. United, if they win Europa League, is gonna be 3 trophies in 3 years, 4 finals, three trophies. Quite phenomenal, to be honest, for a team that is in utter disarray. But hey, nobody's talking about that, are they? But ultimately, we're gonna talk about how that impacts Arsenal. More specifically on transfer news, of course. We can talk about some transfer rumors. You can tell by the title. We can talk about Gyökeres. We can talk about Frankie de Jong. We can talk about other bits and bobs here and there. And of course, tomorrow, Arsenal are facing Bournemouth in Premier League. I wish there was some hype around the game, but to some extent, everything that is going for that game, besides, well, it's a game, and to basically get a run out for the boys, get some minutes in the legs and all that stuff, I'm not gonna lie, there's nothing much to it. Genuinely nothing much to it. Only question is how much we can rotate. On how much will we rotate, because that's the only question relying on this game, because all focus, all the eggs are in Champions League basket, let's be real. At the same time, if Arsenal win the PSG game, it would be kind of nuts, let's be real, but hey, all the eggs are in that basket, we have hopes. Obviously, tomorrow we are hoping for the best. We are hoping to avoid injuries and just, well, get some positive vibes around the club, because in recent times, this week has been quite depressing to be an Arsenal fan, let's be real. The Premier League form due to Champions League, I guess, or what, however you want to spin it. Champions League injuries is, we're gonna get into all that, so don't forget to like, to subscribe, to do all these good things. So as I said, like, comment, subscribe, give your thoughts down in the live chat below, and we're gonna go from there. We actually gonna go from there. So what we gonna kick things off today is some transfer news. It's genuinely some transfer news just because, well, it's Arsenal and we can talk about them, kind of warming up before the big summer. The big summer, the war chest and all this stuff that we get PR'd all the goddamn time. Anyhow, first things first, we're gonna talk about Evan Ndika. French, Ivorian, however you want to see it. He used to be French, now he's Ivorian. He's dual citizenship and all that. One of the main catalysts for what AS Roma is doing this season under Ranieri. But apparently Arsenal are still interested in him. The news came out that Arsenal were interested in him for quite some time. And now it looks like it kind of is picking up the pace to some extent. It generally looks like it is picking up the pace for Arsenal. Whether it's gonna happen or not, how it's gonna go, I have no idea. I guess Arsenal are looking for another defender, basically, to back up Saliba properly. So we have 2 right backs, 2 center backs, 2 left center backs, and 2 left backs, I guess. But again, for me personally, no matter how you want to spin it, right? This is not a primary position Arsenal needs to improve upon. This is not a primary position. Yes, around 30 million or 35, how you want to say it, it's cheap. Let's be real, for Arsenal it should be cheap. At the same time, as I said, it's not a primary position for Arsenal to try and improve upon. We need attack, we need midfield, we need lots of things. Defense, as weird as it sounds, and as weird it will be to say, is the least of my problems at the moment with the Arsenal and how they're portraying things, how they are being seen this season, and how they're doing their thing. So, literally, defense is one of my least of worries at the moment. For me, it's striker, it's left winger, it's 2 midfielders at least, or 3 even. Odegaard replacement, hopefully, and all this stuff. And as long as we don't get those, I don't want to see no defender links. Genuinely, no defender links. I can get on board maybe with backup for Lewis Skelly or a proper left back to basically play there and Skelly put into midfield. I can live with that, but I don't want to see defensive links. I genuinely don't. I want to see attackers. I want to see forwards, wingers, midfielders. I don't want to see none of these defensive lines. Kid you not. The problem is we have no one to rest Saliba. Saliba look, yeah, that is true. Obviously, that is true. But currently, let's be real, that like, is that our main worry? Yes, we have defense. We can play all over the pitch. We need a backup for Saliba desperately. But at the same time, we need more. We have more urgent matters to attend to. If we look at things like that. Attack midfield. For me, that's more urgent than defense alone. Because 30 million, okay, cool. We can spend it on that. But then again, then we need a left back, then we need this, and all of a sudden, oh, we cannot sign a midfielder, oh, we cannot sign attack, phase 5,694, and here we go again. Like, I don't want the repeat of the same situations. I really hope that the rumors that are basically traveling and going through the social media, through journalists and everything, the fact that Arsenal are gonna sign attackers and midfielders, and defense is solely relied upon sales is true. Because if we have about 200, 300 million to spend, we can sign attackers, midfielders, all cool. Then we sell your Zinchenkos, what else is there? Trossards, if you want to, Nelsons and all this stuff, and then you can focus on defense for me. I can't take any transfer seriously unless a striker gets brought first. Exactly. That is the case. For me, defense is not the most urgent matter we need to attend to at the club right now. At least that's how I see it. Would you still not want to see defenders linked if the plan is still to sell Kivior and Zinchenko and Tomiyasu? That is a completely different story. If we sell them, I expect that money that we sell them for to sign defenders to replace them. That I expect. But if our main focus is to sign defenders again first, and then only think about attack and midfield, that is a completely different story. Because we have had this. Since Aubameyang left, every single window we go in a hope. We're going to sign a forward, we're going to sign a winger, we're going to sign a midfielder. What Arsenal do, we sign defenders first. And then we sign Raheem Sterling on loan. That's what we do. And that is not cutting it for me. That is genuinely not cutting it for me. I totally get if we sell, let's just say, I don't think Kivior is going to go. Based on how he's performing the second part of the season, I think he's going to stay. Obviously, there are some rumors that he might potentially go, but I'm not too sure it's going to be a thing. Tomiyasu, not too sure we're going to be able to even sell him. Because he is basically not able to be played till December this year. This year, December. That's 7 months from now. Like, not sure we can unload him in summer. Unless we basically terminate the contract. That's about it. And Zinchenko, I guess we have to sell him. I kind of wouldn't mind selling him, unless we consistently play him in the midfield. But then again, if we play him in the midfield, it means Arsenal are not going to look at another midfielder, and that again is a big worry because Zinchenko for our midfield is not good enough. Like, there is all these situations that come with certain subtext that it's really, really pissing me off. We are year after year wasting money, not buying the necessary players in necessary positions, where at the end of the day, we always being left up short. Like, it was under Arsene Wenger even. We had good attack, decent defense, midfield was the problem. We fixed the midfield in 2-3 years. Oh, attack is the issue. We fixed the attack, now defense is the issue. And now we just do like bungee jumping all the time and all this stuff and up and down, pick your poison in the lane, which we need to improve again. Like, that is definitely not it. It's something I don't want to see. Big up Pepper, big up my guy. I'm listening at the moment, not as active. I get it, totally get it. Big up Harry. Hope you're doing well. But anyways, Ndika as a backup, maybe. I have seen him play only for Eintracht. I haven't seen him play for Roma, although Roma are like 20 games unbeaten currently under Ranieri, which is kind of nuts as well. So he definitely should be doing something fine, I guess, if he's even playing. Um, on brighter side of news, Arsenal Academy under 16s beat Chelsea 3-1 and won the Premier League Cup. Good news for under 16s. That is something positive. At least something good is happening at Arsenal. This team also could have basically taken Max Dallman in their team to even help them, but they didn't. Max Dallman plays for under 18s. So that is also good news that they could have done it. They did it without Max Dallman. So time only will tell. Thompson is a very good player in their system, so we will see how this is gonna go. But big up to them. Genuinely big up to them. I'm not gonna lie. We can't rotate the defense though, and it's the one thing that's actually working. Makes too much sense to get rid of the untrusted and replace them with better options. That's the thing, we can't rotate the defense though, because there's nobody to rotate with. If we can rotate maybe right back position, we cannot rotate the right center back, right? Unless we put the right back in a center back. But that again is not a rotation because the other right back is not getting rested. We can maybe rotate left center back, right? Kivior for Gabriel, or even Calafiori for Gabriel. We can kind of try and do that. We can rotate our left back position, Skelly and Calafiori currently, because it doesn't look like he's gonna give Tierney a chance even anymore. So we kind of can rotate, but at the same time, when we rotate, it is scary hours. Because we should be in a position currently that when we rotate, let's just say half the squad, 5 players for example, right? We should be in a position where we rotate those 5 players. We still can beat your Ipswich Town, right? Your Southampton. Maybe even, not maybe Crystal Palace, maybe West Ham and teams like that. At the same time, we cannot beat them sometimes with our full team even. So it's a big, massive mess where even without rotation we cannot do it. And that again falls to Mikel Arteta. Our main players have been run into the ground. Small squad like that is built by design. Main 11, few players on the bench, for bodies only, and then maybe 2-3 subs he makes. Because it's clear that he doesn't trust any of them on the bench. And that is for me very big issue. Very big issue. And even the players he trusts, you don't know what you're gonna get. Because if Martinelli starts, we don't know what kind of Trossard we're gonna get. A useless drunken Trossard, or we're gonna get a balling Trossard like we got when we just signed him. We never know that. Ethan Manieri, he is 17, so we cannot expect everything for him, like from Yamal, for example. So we don't have even those many options. We're gonna expect something from Sterling from loan? Get a give over. Like, what are we doing here? It's only scary hours because we have no attack to relax the rotation. Score goals, defending becomes easy. Exactly. Score many goals, it's not a problem anymore. Score goals, that is the biggest thing. The fact that we are struggling in the attack is basically putting extra... I generally lost my train of thought. Forgot the word. It puts extra pressure on defense because they need to be even more focused so we don't concede, because they know that we're not gonna score 5-6 goals or even 3 goals. Let's be real. They maybe know they're gonna score 1, maybe 2. So it means we basically need to keep a clean sheet to even have a chance in a game. No doubt 1 or 2 other lads in the under 16 setup got the secret sauce. That, oh my god, definitely. They definitely do. In under 16s there are some very good players. My worry is that they will come up to the main squad and Arteta is still gonna be here and he's gonna ruin them. And that's at the moment my biggest worry with Ethan Ranieri. Because he's doing everything Odegaard is not doing. And obviously it's very evident that Mikel Arteta likes what Odegaard is doing. And if he starts to coach Ranieri in a way that he starts to do what Odegaard is doing and less of what actually Ranieri likes to do, he's gonna ruin Ethan Ranieri as well. And that for me is a big worry with Dauman coming up. With Thompson potentially in a few years coming up. Anoush, Salam Khan coming up. I have worries about that. Genuine worries. Trossard and Martinelli are both quite... Exactly. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get when they play. Maybe, okay, 2 years ago when we were playing beautiful attacking football, you knew what you're gonna get from Trossard and Martinelli. You actually knew. With the switch of system and everything, how Arteta presents it, you genuinely, you see the starting 11, and you start to pray that they have a good game. They actually can make two passes together. Because sometimes it feels like they have totally forgotten even how to pass the ball. However, it's also a quiet flip, but his thing is way towards sales. Yeah. Yep. Arteta is determined not to play Ranieri, and that is also a big thing. Obviously, we have spoken to massive extent on the stream about the fact that Ranieri got his chance by luck. Because of us, basically. Because we caused the uproar in the fan base that Odegaard is out, Ranieri is not playing, Saka is out, Ranieri is not playing, so when the hell is he gonna even play? Right? After that, instantly he starts, he plays 40 minutes, 30 minutes, all of a sudden out of nowhere, right? He scores his trademark cutting on the left and finesses far corner. Arteta all of a sudden looks like a genius, but let's be real, he is not a genius. So at the end of the day, the thing is, if Ranieri plays instead of Odegaard, and he has good string of games, Arteta looks like a fool. Because Odegaard is his adopted child, pretty much. He nurtures him, he does everything. There's a reason why he hasn't purchased a proper backup to put extra pressure on him. Because Odegaard knows he can drop a stinker after stinker every goddamn game, and still he's gonna play. Plus, he's the captain. Right? So, if he plays Ranieri and he outdoes Odegaard, Arteta looks like a fool. It shows that Odegaard is not good enough, and it shows that Ranieri actually can do the job. And he doesn't want that. On top of that, 2 games Zinchenko has played as a number 10 this season for Arsenal, as a starter. PSV and Everton. Everton? I think it was Everton. Right? In both of those games, Zinchenko did 10 times more than Odegaard has done the whole season. That is also, Zinchenko is forward thinking. He makes the risky pass, which Odegaard doesn't make ever, pretty much. Zinchenko's natural position is the 10 actually, where he started to play. Okay, Pep signed him, put him as an 8 or a left back, which basically he adapted to, hence he plays there. Right now for Arsenal as well, doesn't even play anymore at Arsenal, let's be real. It's not a coincidence that when he got put in the 10 for 2 games, he actually did better than Odegaard the whole season combined. I'm worried Ethan gets forced to be a winger, which he is not. Exactly. That is my biggest worry. Ethan Ranieri himself said in an interview, in under 21s, I was a number 10. I like playing as a number 10. I only play right wing because Saka was out and Mikel Arteta made me play there. Obviously. And then Arteta comes out and says, maybe in few years I can envision him as a number 9. Oh my goodness gracious. God help us all if that is the case. And I'm very worried that even if he plays as a right wing or a number 10, that Arteta is gonna basically put him in the same box as he has put Saka in, as he has put Odegaard in, to some extent. And he's gonna make him worse. He's gonna literally kill his potential, to some extent. Ruin his talent. Because players like Ranieri, Skelly, Max Dauman, Saka even, let's be real, don't come up too often. Let's be real, once in a decade. More or less once in a decade, let's be real. Unless you have La Masia or someone like that basically spits them out every 2 seconds. Right? Finally, we have some good academy talent, which we were used to know in before that we didn't, but now we have them again. And my worry is that under Arteta, he's gonna ruin them all. That for me is the biggest worry. Because those guys you cannot box in to make them system type robotic players. You need to allow them to be who they are. You can guide them, you can coach them, but you cannot basically box them in and say, hey, you cannot do forward passes. If you are in tight spot, pass it to Saka, pass it backwards, do it this, do it that, and if all falls flat, when you cross it, try to hit off defender so it goes out of a corner and we have a chance. You cannot do that. You need to allow them be who they are. It's actually insane. You saw that song goes in the... I haven't seen it, and knowing expressions, I'm not so sure I want to see it, let's be real. But expressions and everything, he has chest right now. He beat Bodo Gimps 3-1 at home. He better not hope he doesn't lose at away 2-0 or 3-0. Because Bodo Glimt at home, completely different animal compared to what they are away. Let's be real. So, and you know, they are Spursy as well. Spurs are Spursy, so don't put it past them as well. Anyways, in some other news, Jorginho. Flamenco are hopeful of signing Jorginho before the Club World Cup in June, with discussions ongoing. So basically, season ends, he goes to Flamenco. Good riddance. Good riddance. Make him sign the deal. Let him go to Flamenco. Make him go to Club World Cup and all this stuff. He is out of Arsenal. Job done. Sign a midfielder instantly in the first week of the transfer window starting June 1st. We are literally 30 days away from transfer window opening, by the way. Anyone has noticed that? 30 days away. For all the hype we are getting that Zubimendi should be done early June, Gyökeres should be done very, very soon, we are hearing none of the talks, none of the negotiations, none of that. Quite interesting, isn't it? But anyway, Jorginho, thank you for your service, blah blah blah, good freaking luck. Anyways, some more interesting news, actually. Some more interesting news. Liverpool and Arsenal are the best placed, I think, financially, PSR and FFP wise, I assume that regard, to sign Frankie de Jong this summer, with Man United set to lose out once again. Apparently, they cannot even afford him, allegedly, but who knows. Chelsea are also keen on the Barcelona midfielder. That's according, of course, to Todo Fisheyes, the Yellow Pages, the son of sports. And the question is, I used to be a big, massive fan of Frankie de Jong. Really love watching him play. In that Barcelona midfield, he's fantastic. He was fantastic even at Ajax, let's be real. My only worry is the injuries. Personally, and of course the wages, because he's on somewhat 600,000 a week at Barcelona, something stupid like that. For me, it's the interesting one. Frankie de Jong at Arsenal. Would you be open if Arsenal signed him? Would that get you excited? Let's just put it that way. Would that get you excited? Big up Kwame. Mayeri should be picked, especially against PSG on Wednesday. Exactly. Do what some of the greatest managers always do, something unorthodox. We all know that. Pep has done it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Jose Mourinho has done it. Let's be real. They sometimes throw in an odd player which nobody expects to play. They throw in a curveball. Because Arsenal currently are very predictable in starting 11, in the style, in positions, and how we're going to play. Putting Ethan Nwaneri there actually puts in a bit of a mystery, a bit of an unknown factor, a dark horse. For Arsenal, to some extent, let's be real, because Nwaneri can just pop a shot out of nowhere and it goes in. But also for PSG, because they won't expect that. Let's be real, they're never gonna expect that. It'd be a completely different defending against Nwaneri. Would be completely different, but let's be real. Arteta will never do that, because he is egotistical, narcissistic, he thinks he's always right, he doesn't trust the youth, and, well, he's very predictable, very pragmatic. He's very reactive, he's not proactive. No one is gonna reveal that they made XX amount of millions selling exactly before they find replacement. They don't end to overcharge on the... Exactly, that is also the case. No, 100%. 100%. I just hope the deals are getting done. That is for me the biggest worry. Because for all the talk about Zubimendi, only thing we have heard is that expectations are he's gonna join Arsenal. Yet at the same time, Madrid and all this stuff is still on the cards. Same goes for Gyökeres. Arsenal are interested, Berta is on fire, all this stuff. But we don't hear anything about talks, about advanced talks, about anything. That for me is the biggest worry. We don't hear. Big up Terence, big up, bonjour. I saw what you did there, but I'm gonna go along with it. I would take Frankie. I would actually too, I'm not gonna lie. Frankie would solve a lot of problems in this midfield for us. He would solve the creative part, definitely. Let's be real. And he would also solve the box-to-box type of situation we need. He plays also, he's something as well between number 6 and a number 8. Something in between. He actually would work like a charm for us in that regard. Very good technically, press resistant, good long balls, good short passing. Decent shot on him as well. Yes, he may, on paper, he doesn't score much, but he has a decent long shot on him. He is creative, he has good footballing IQ. Only thing is the injuries, and if we can avoid that, it's actually quite fantastic in that regard. I know that many people also would pass on Frankie de Jong due to injuries, due to the hype, he never lived up to it, but that's also due to career choices. I think he went to to Barcelona way too quickly, in my opinion. Way too quickly. But hey, Arteta won't pick Ranieri, his stubbornness will... Exactly. That is the biggest worry. Aren't Arteta's coaches telling him that Ranieri is better? Well, they can say everything. We all know that final say belongs to Mikel Arteta. We all know that. Everyone knows that. We all know that Mikel Arteta's favorite is Martin Odegaard. If he picks Ranieri and he outplays Odegaard, Arteta looks like a fool, Odegaard looks like a joke of a captain even more, let's be real. And then everyone will be even more on Arteta's case, saying, if Odegaard is dropping stinkers this whole season, why the actual F you weren't playing Ranieri in that 10 spot? That would even increase even bigger tension in the club. Even more pressure on the Arteta. And they don't want that, let's be real, they don't want that, Arteta doesn't want that. So it makes a lot of sense that Ranieri, they don't play Ranieri. Lots of stuff goes into it, let's be real. And I guess it is what it is, and to be honest, I kind of realize also more, the more I think about this PSG game, the first leg and now the return leg next week, I kind of realize also reasons why Arsenal are now shitting the bed, even more than they did before. Because against Real Madrid, we were excited, right? Real Madrid, all that all that crap. But let's be real, it's Real Madrid, and besides certain portion of our fan base, nobody gave us a chance. Even though Real Madrid are bad this season, they still, it's the heritage, it's the stadium. Yeah, I was included. I said it will be 2-1 Arsenal at home and maybe 2-1 away or 3-1 away. We're going to lose, potentially. I'm going to admit to that. I thought we might get past Real Madrid or we might even not. I was caught in between two minds. But against Real Madrid, we were the underdogs. Nobody expected anything from us to some extent. Let's be real. So the pressure was off. Go play, see what happens. Now that we play PSG, the pressure is on. Because everyone expects us to be good against PSG, to throw a game against PSG, to win against PSG, especially at the Emirates. And as we can see, the more pressure Arsenal have on them, the worse they are. That also plays massive into context, because that's a massive difference if Martinelli, okay, Martinelli might not be the best example in this regard, but if Martinelli goes one-on-one against Ipswich, let's be real, even in this form, he's scoring that bottom corner shot. This was PSG, semi-finals of Champions League, to make it 1-1, by the way. Completely different mindset, completely different pressure, completely different everything. And he just... The less said than better. Mikel Arteta won't pick Odegaard, pick Ethan, and that would be the hope. Hard pass on Frankie, through this, he never lived up to the hype, just one of those players with fancy name and hype. I'm not helping Barca out financial mess. That I get, but I still think there's a good player in Frankie de Jong. How old is Frankie de Jong, by the way? Because it feels like he's like 30 or something. Feels like he's been about for a long time. Frankie de Jong is only 27 years old, sorry. Only 27 years old, so I wouldn't be against that. I wouldn't be against Frankie de Jong. As long as he takes massive salary cut, because I'm not paying him the same, not me, but I would imagine Arsenal would not pay him the same thing that Barcelona are paying him. Arteta, yeah. To be honest, he has done it the whole season almost, so that's the biggest thing. For Arteta, there are certain players in the club which I describe as the undroppables. If you can walk, even crawl, you are playing. That goes in favor of Saliba, Saka, Odegaard, maybe Declan Rice to that extent, right? Havertz definitely goes in that category, right? And that is one of the biggest downfalls of Mikel Arteta. I don't know if he doesn't want to admit that he's wrong, or he just wants to plow basically blindly through brick wall in hopes that it shatters, or what, I have no idea. But that is also not good. PSG have done their homework. They really watched the Newcastle games. We won't beat them. They are prepared and equipped. We never prepared for this game, and we are weak attacking wise. That is the biggest issue, because Arsenal compared to PSG game we played in September, when PSG were, let's be real, awful. They didn't change much. Arsenal didn't change too much. Let's be real. To the matter of fact, Arteta changed too much in starting 11. Because he only thing he had to do was leave Merino at striker, put Tierney as a left back, and put Skelly in the 6. At least something like that. Not change basically the build-up of half the squad, of the whole squad. That is one of the biggest issues that Arteta did. But tactics-wise and everything, Arteta changed nothing too much compared to PSG game. Whilst Luis Enrique, he watched how we played against Newcastle, both games, how we went against United, what we did against Real Madrid and all these games. He picked out certain aspects, he picked his points, and he basically schooled him there. Let's be real, first 20 minutes, yeah, 1-0. Yes, we looked all over the place. Arteta apparently tweaked something, God knows what, but he says it, so he apparently did it. Yes, we got back into the game. We had 2, maybe 3 chances to score. We obviously balled them. Same goes for PSG. They had about 4 chances to score. We are lucky it's only 1-0. And only due to the fact that PSG also don't have an out-and-out striker, just like Arsenal, but they have only better attack, it's only 1-0. Only 1-0. And we still are within a shot of getting to the finals. That is the only reasoning why, the way I see it. Anyways, I wouldn't say no to Frankie de Jong. That's what I was about to say. Paul Merst has spoken on Arsenal, and he says that Mikel Arteta made a big mistake in the Arsenal loss to PSG. I wasn't shocked by the fact that PSG dominated Arsenal's midfield. Let's be real, nobody was. The Gunners got overrun because Thomas Partey wasn't playing. Well, that's nothing new. I would have played Skelly in the midfield and asked Mikel Merino to play up front. Arsenal made too many changes for a game like that, in my opinion. When Partey comes back in the second leg, that midfield will be a lot stronger for sure. See? Even Paul Merson is saying this. Even Paul Merson is saying this. Arteta screwed up by changing the system too much. Putting Merino in the midfield and all this stuff, playing Trossard up top. It changed all the dynamics. Rice in the 6. The way Arteta wants to play, Rice is not good as a 6. He's actually good as an 8. The way Arteta at least wants to play this system. Arteta only thing he had to do was put Skelly in the 8, in the 6, sorry, put Tierney as a left back, and we are golden. Leave Merino up top. That was all he had to do. Donnarumma started falling over every corner. PSG defenders stood wide like Porto, fast attackers like Newcastle. Nah, man, they're exactly. They basically have watched all the footage in games where Arsenal got nullified to maximum extent. Porto away, instantly. Counters by Newcastle, press by Newcastle, and everything. Double, triple teaming everyone by Newcastle. They looked at those things, and they basically drained the essence from that and applied to their own system. Because Luis Enrique, let's be real, he's to some extent elite tactician. And he outschooled everyone. And that is it's not a surprise. Donnarumma starting every corner. That's what Porto did as well. That's what Sporting did as well, by the way. That is also the case last year. And on top of that, let's not forget as well that Donnarumma actually, on that Martinelli one-on-one chance, right? He was already falling over before Martinelli took the shot. He knew where he's gonna shoot. Everyone knew where he's gonna shoot. Blind Stevie Wonder knew where he's gonna shoot. And that is one of the biggest things. Predictable. Predictable. Nothing new. Same stuff. Just like Mikel Arteta. Perfect reflection of what the manager and the team is playing. Arteta is also stubborn, does the same thing, expects different results. Like definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. Martinelli is the same thing. He does the same finish over and over and over again. More often than not, he scores. But this season, he has proven that he cannot always score that. And Donnarumma already, before he took a shot, knew where he's going to shoot, so he fell over. And as we all know, Martinelli plays with his head basically tilted down. He doesn't look ahead. Speedball without a driver, basically. And if he actually lifted his head and saw that, he actually would have maybe dropped the shoulder, finessed it near corner. Or powered it near corner. Not far corner where everyone in the stadium even knew where he's gonna take the goddamn shot. Arsenal-Liverpool ball still are Isak in the first of the table. Don't trust this, don't care. Now this is interesting. Personally, not the biggest fan of Rafael Leao because he's very hot and cold type of a player. Very hot and cold. If he's on it, he's on it. If he's cold, just like Trossard. He's like Portuguese I show speed, basically, to some extent. But apparently Arsenal have scouted Rafael Leao. He is one of the options being considered by Andrea Berta for the left wing. Isn't Rafael Leao's release clauses are like 150 million as well, aren't they? At AC Milan. Because that already is. No, according to reports in France, Rafael Leao, 150 million release clauses. 150 million release clauses for Rafael Leao. So basically one Isak. Rafael Leao is the same price as Isak. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Leao. Much rather sign somebody else for 150 million. Oh God, Lord knows. Also no. Also no. For me, it's a no. I know there are fans in Arsenal fan base who want him, but I'm not too sure he is it. Let's just put it that way. Oh, some more disturbing news about Arsenal. Arsenal could move to sign Marcus Rashford from Manchester United in the summer. Here we go again. Here we fucking go again. Marcus Rashford on the cards. I don't know what to say. Like, seriously, I don't know what to say. This is like another Havertz situation. He's failing at United currently. Well, he's at Aston Villa at the moment. His season is pretty much over due to the injury and all that stuff. But at United, he's out of sorts and he needs to find a new club. There are reports that Rashford is willing to take salary cut to play for Barcelona and all this jazz. But why Arsenal? Why again? Why? Is he really the one you need? Is he really the answer you are looking for the attacking department? Because the way we play football, I'm not so sure Marcus Rashford is the right signing as well. If we played football like we did 2 seasons ago, the scintillating, dangerous, prolific, beautiful attacking football, then yes, Rashford would be fantastic there. But the way we play football now, no thank you. I always wanted Leao for left wing. It's really simple. Is Leao better than Trossard? No, that is, yeah. So how is he a bad guy? Does he score in the positions Trossard might only get into? Yes. So why? Well, he doesn't always score in those positions. He's a walking highlight reel from, like, he doesn't excite me. That's my just personal preference. For me, it's a no. The way I see it. For me, Rafael Leao is an overpriced winger, once again, as always. Especially if in January you can get Gyökeres, for example, who for me at least is a better winger than Rafael Leao, it's not. Gyökeres 65-70 million, and now we are apparently scouting 130-140 million Rafael Leao. Why? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, for me, Rafael Leao is very hot and cold type of player. Yes, he has some flashes of brilliance, but he has this ability to be just like Odegaard. That's the biggest issue. If he's on it, he's phenomenal. If he stinks, then he stinks massively. That is for me the biggest worry. Yeah, more chances than not he scores in that position. But let's be real, in that position even Merino more chances than not scores that goal as well. I'm not gonna lie. Vaneri scores that goal, 100%. Saka scores that goal. Like, that doesn't say too much. For me, that Rafael Leao doesn't seem like the signing we should be making. Is he a big name? Technically, yes. Is he the guy to get us over the line? I don't think so. I don't want Nico Williams whatsoever. Screw him. I didn't want him when we got linked with him. Last summer I already didn't want him. That I'm not gonna go for that. Semenyo, like, it's insane. Like, I don't want Williams whatsoever. I didn't want him even last summer. Especially now that he wants 400 grand a week and what he did yesterday against United. That's garbage. I didn't want him already last summer. That is not for me. Personally, no chance in hell he's for me. Didn't want him, don't want him still. Like, the issue is the left-wing market. Like, you could sign a player, but is he good enough? That is the biggest question. I get that Rafael... That is the biggest issue. There are certain positions where market is very, very, very thin these days. Very thin. And that's why there is this massive gap between either you pay 150 or 130 for Leao, or at the time when Kvaratskhelia was at Napoli, you pay 120 for him, or you basically pay 50, 60 for someone who maybe might work out. And obviously, I'm a very firm believer in the fact that if you buy cheap, you buy twice, right? But again, when I watch Rafael, it just doesn't convince me, personally. Just doesn't convince me. Yeah, the Boyton wants Mitoma. I understand. I totally understand also why. I wanted Kvaratskhelia, but now we're playing against him. Yeah, I also wanted Kvaratskhelia. I think he would be quite amazing in this system, how we play football. But that is it, yeah. These days, yeah. He has won the league. He can do it. He has done it with Giroud together, yes. There's no argument about that. He's playing for Milan. He's in the final as well, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. Leao has beaten Inter Milan this season multiple times as well. Like, it's basically you either sign Leao or you go for Rafinha or you go for someone like that. They're basically about 3-4 options, or Lookman or something like that. They're basically 3-4 options that they are gonna cost you 80 and above million, or 90 above million, right? And then after that, it's basically you look in the trenches. 50, 40 million, maybe 60, but that's only due to Premier League tax mostly. Yes, you can maybe go and try and look at in other leagues to sign. Obviously, there are players we could sign from other leagues. 100% without shadow of a doubt. Like there's your Barcolas, Desiree Doués. Both of them are in cahoots with PSG currently. Apparently, Doué is worried with Kvaratskhelia. He won't get enough game time. Same goes for Barcola. So they are delaying the contract extension and all this stuff. So who knows? Genuinely, who knows? My worry is the fact that we're gonna sell one of the wingers, 100%. Like, we're gonna sell one of the wingers, either Trossard or Martinelli, right? And we're gonna replace them with something basically that much better. That is my biggest worry. At the same time, if we want to sign all the prolific big players, and this will sound very bad as an Arsenal fan, but we don't have the funds to do it. Technically we do, but will we do it? I'm not so sure. Like, for example, Gyökeres, like 70 million, Leao 100 million, Zubimendi 51 million, another midfielder, another like 60, 70 million. That's already nearly 300 million there. Then you need to sign a defender, 2 defenders, that's like what, 360, 400 almost, we are going in that territory. Then you need a goalkeeper, like 430 or something like that. You need massive sales as well then to kind of balance it all out. Like, it's weird. Arsenal have screwed this up so badly because if we signed the proper players when we actually were spending money over the last 4 years with the 750 million, we would be nowhere near this mess we are right now. Because again, we are in a position where we need a rebuild for the rebuild about the rebuild because we started a rebuild 5.5 years ago. And it's really pissing me off to such high extent it's actually wild. But ultimately, like, if I have to, I'm not gonna lie, if I have to choose between 130 million of Leao and let's just say 50 million for Nico Williams, I'm choosing Leao, as wild as it sounds. More than almost 3 times the price, but at least with Leao I know what I'm getting, to some extent. With Nico Williams, just no chance in hell. I said that last summer, I'm saying it still now. Man, we get schooled, whooped and bare in our own home, yeah. And we are not even talking PSG here, we're talking West Ham and all this crap. I don't think Leao will cost 100 million, the market is dead after Kvaratskhelia going for 60, I think Leao goes for 60, 70 million, got no money like the old days. That would be the hope. That would be the hope, that if we go for a winger and if we can get even Leao about 60, 70 million, even 75, I would be okay with that. Unless he demands again 300 grand a week, then that's just stupid in my opinion. I get that we have to pay for the biggest players, but does he deserve to get the same amount of money as Bukayo Saka, as William Saliba for Arsenal? Not too sure. 250 I can live with, maybe. And now that's also just maybe. That is the other thing. But that's for them to worry about, not for me. Obviously, if we sign Leao, we will see how much we paid them. Definitely gonna get pissed off if it's too much, but hey, it is what it is. That's just my rights as a fan to some extent, right? But yeah, if we can get Leo for about 70, 80 million, I wouldn't be against that. That definitely I wouldn't be against. Like 70 for Gyökeres, 70 for 80 for Leao and stuff like that. It would be great. Kvaratskhelia went for 60, and that was the steal of the window by a mile. How we didn't sign him is actually quite annoying as well. Yeah, Nico Williams just gives me Gervinho vibes, massive Gervinho vibes. He's good for his national team, and that's what I said during the summer as well, for fuck's sake. Don't judge players from international duty. Don't judge players from international duty games. And that's how everyone judged Calafiori to some extent. That's how everyone judged Merino, and that's how everyone judged Nico Williams. That is one thing you cannot do. Judge players by international duty games. You need to see them in the team. You need to see them over extended period of time in the team, in a league or in cups and with that team. And got me in a laugh that by Tottenham fans. Don't worry, if they win Europa League, it's gonna get 10 times worse. I know Manny Colonials, but one Martinelli Trossard must be sold. Certainly Havertz gets sold. Havertz is never getting sold. I can see that this will sound very bad, especially if you're a Martinelli fan. I'm very sorry about that. But the way I see this, for Arsenal to sign a marquee signing, someone big will have to go. And for me personally, the way I see how Arsenal are attacking and playing, and the way Arteta is treating certain players, I think Martinelli from that attack is the most expendable one that he will be willing to sell. That's how I see it. To be honest, he has tried to replace Martinelli as well like 3 times already. Like with Mudryk for 100 million. Let's be real, you're not paying 100 million for Mudryk to sit on the bench. You're gonna replace Martinelli with him. There were also some other wingers we got linked with. I'm just blanking on now. You know, actually wanted Spurs to win Europa League to end their drought. Man, if I did Uzi. Dude, I don't want any of them winning. But unfortunately, one of them will. Your microphone is something's not working because you sound faint. Okay. Better? Does this sound better now? Should be better, 100%. I'm actually talking as well in a lowered voice, so that also could be playing a part. So I'm very sorry about that, because I'm kind of sick and tired of Arsenal as well. Very sorry. Is my mic better now? By the way, big up OG as well. Big up. Havertz needs to go together with Odegaard somewhere. 100%. Hopefully my mic is better right now. Anyways, moving on from Rashford. Don't want Rashford. Okay, it's better. Big up. Big up. Speaking of Havertz, ironically enough, Mikel Arteta confirms that Kai Havertz can return before the end of this season for Arsenal. If everything goes the way it's going at the moment, he will have a chance to play a few more games. Holy crap. Our season is saved. Woohoo! Moving on, it's Havertz anyways. And this is what I wanted to talk about. What I speak about Gyökeres. Gyökeres over weekend scored 4 goals against Boavista, right? The prolific striker has now surpassed 50 goals this season, further fueling interest from Arsenal and Manchester United, right? Obviously, we all know that Andrea Berta wants Gyökeres. We all know that Arsenal fans as well are in desperate need to sign a striker, and Gyökeres could be it, right? The issue with this is, according to sources, again, sources and reports and all that crap from Portugal and everyone else afterwards, Gyökeres wants Champions League football, right? Obviously, Arsenal in this regard currently is the prime option. Now, here comes the kicker in all of this. If United win Europa League, they get straight into Champions League final. which gives them, Champions League final, they get into Champions League, which gives them extra incentive and extra power to try and convince Gyökeres to sign for Manchester United. That is the big thing. And especially with Amorim being there and all this stuff, wouldn't be surprised if they actually try and get him if that is the case. 100% United will even try to get him despite that, 100%. But there is for me, it's a massive concern now. Because we didn't sign him last year for 100 million. And now we might be paying the price in summer. And that again shows the incompetence of the board and in Arteta and Edu and everyone else. Massive incompetence in that regard. So we'll see how this goes, but the fact that United are very close to Champions League, winning Europa League, this could be a very bad situation. My lineup for next season: Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Skelly, Rice, Party, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, and Eze. Wait, you're playing Eze on left wing? That's kind of weird. No offense, but that sounds very, very weird. Very, very weird, Eze on the left wing. I get that he has played there and everything. There's no for me. Anyways, what else is there? What else have I favorited? Here we go. Nathan won't be pleased with this one. Apparently Chelsea have spoken to Ajax about potential move to sign Jorel Hato. Well, that is going well, isn't it? Potentially. Jorel Hato potentially could go to Chelsea. Yeah, this I agree. Kai Havertz can be on the bench as a secondary striker. Not a good striker, so why do you guys like average players? Exactly, Kai Havertz needs to hold the bench. Yes, everyone is going to... Exactly, but everyone wants him. There's Liverpool, there is Arsenal, there is someone else, I forgot the name. There is Chelsea as well. Everyone is going to want him. Kai Havertz's price and salary is a massive issue. The thing is, Kai Havertz hasn't carried Arsenal. Because if he was doing that, he would be a prolific goal scorer. That is the biggest thing. And he went on a purple goal scoring patch second part of last season. Right? But let's be real, if we had a proper striker, even if Havertz finishes even half of the chances he misses, we should never have these discussions about him. How about the chances he missed against United from 2 yards out? How about the chances he missed against West Ham? Against other teams where we lost the games? How about the chance in one-on-one against Brighton with 10 men? He went against Verbruggen and he shot it straight at the goalkeeper. How about that? Where is he carrying us then? He is not carrying in anyone. If a player hits purple patch and scores some goals, okay, cool, everyone thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. He's our top goal scorer for Arsenal. With 9 goals in January? That's your main striker? That's the guy who's going to win you Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup? That's your main striker? Just give over. Also, most of Havertz's goals came when they were already up in games when we won 4-5-0. Yeah, exactly. Big up Mike. Sympathy tap-ins. Exactly. Some of them were, by the way, penalties as well, if I'm not mistaken. That's the thing. For me, he's not carrying Arsenal. He's not good enough to start for Arsenal. As a bench option to cause chaos, for example, might as well. But we need a designated striker. Havertz has 9 goals in total. Arteta didn't bother to sign a striker when it was available in January. Exactly. He has 9 goals in total. He's our top goal scorer. And he got injured in January, by the way. And yet we have Robbie from AFTV telling in the beginning of this season that he's going to score 20 goals for Arsenal. I'm not sure Hato moves, considering the World Cup qualifier year of if someone buys him, the loan him back to Ajax. I think Hato might move, but I think it will be very prolific move. Either it's gonna be like Borussia Dortmund, or if sorry, if Bayer Leverkusen sell Grimaldo this summer, maybe that could be the place. He's gonna move to a place where he gets basically a starting role on consistent basis. This Havertz guy is overrated by Arsenal fans. Not even useful off the bench. Should be sold. No money. To be honest, I hope he gets sold. That's because I'm leaning backwards. I'm talking very, very silent. Because, as well, my mic is put a bit further back. Because if I sit like this and talk all the time, everything would be fine. But I want to lean back because my back is killing me. That, for me, is the biggest worry in this. I'm very sorry about that. That, for me, is the biggest worry about all of this. That it's nothing due to the mic or anything. I'm just doing all the other stuff. See, if I move it closer and I lean it towards mic, it's very normal. But I need to sit back at times because my back is killing me. Big up my boss. I don't want to see. If there's new merch, I don't want to see it. Salah, Haaland, Woods, Watkins have scored more than Havertz. They're more than people. Visa, Buemo, Kluivert, Semenyo, I think. There are quite a few who have scored more than Havertz, and they're not even strikers. No, all good. I totally get that. That if you watch a stream, you want audible experience, you want to hear what other people have to say, and you want to have a discussion. I totally understand that. That's also poor on my part on some level as well, so my apologies. When Havertz leaves and shines elsewhere, what y'all would want him? Definitely. Don't give a damn, I don't want Havertz. Send him back to Chelsea, because at Chelsea he was a massive hit. One goal he's still living off of right now. Havertz has scored one important goal, he's still living off it, and that was Champions League winning goal. And still, Chelsea have won Champions League more recently than Arsenal. Well, that's not even the case. Arsenal have never done it. No, big up. Big up, thank you. Big up. But yeah, Hato is moving anywhere. Anyways, let's see. Bournemouth preview, anything to talk about? Fitness on Jorginho and Calafiori. Calafiori is out, Jorginho is still out. On Jorginho could play in the rest of the season, I think so, yeah. On if Havertz could be back before the end of the season, I think so. That's not a good thing. On if there are any other updates, no, the rest are out. On if Partey will be involved tomorrow, he could not play. He was suspended. I have the what? On if Partey will be involved against Bournemouth after he was suspended. Well, he could not play. He was suspended. Well, fam. I have the opportunity to play him tomorrow. Yes. He plays for Germany, but he doesn't do well there as well, because even German fans are very annoyed with him, because whenever Fulkrug came on as a sub, he actually scores. Havertz is like very weird for that. He's very weird guy in that regard. And on top of that, he doesn't do that good for Germany. Germany also play attacking football. They have ability to do so with Sané, Gnabry, Musiala, Wirtz, and all these guys. Arsenal do none of that. Completely different style of play. Plus, obviously, the international games are slower. They are much wider. Teams actually attack, more spaces, and all this stuff. It all comes into play. Havertz might not be a bad player, right? But he's not a bad player. But he's not good for Arsenal, especially the way we play football currently. Bro, you don't play for Arsenal. Why should you? I care about you. I support Arsenal. Exactly. I care about Arsenal, not Havertz FC or Martinelli FC or Kivior FC, Marlon. We should buy Gyokeres, exactly. Rice 100th appearance for us next time he plays, and what it says about him. Consistency and availability. With the way he's performed, the way he's adapted to the club, to the team, I think he's been unavailable signing. Well, good for you. On the supercomputer, giving us favorable chance finishing in top 5. What the actual F is that question? Who even asks these type of questions in an interview, by the way? Like, how? Like, what? Yes, I love the supercomputer. Well, go conquer him as well. And if we're looking at mathematically qualifying for the top 5, nobody cares. On what we have achieved this season, so many unavailable throughout. I don't want to hear this waffle. He's gonna waffle through this. 100%. Every day I was shocked just before the game against PSG at home because I was walking into the dressing room and suddenly I saw all of them together sitting. It was Tomiyasu, next to him Calafiori, next to him Gabriel, next to him Thomas Partey, next to him Kai Havertz, next to him Gabriel Jesus, next to him Jorginho. It said that's a starting line. I said that's a starting lineup. We don't have them. We haven't. Yeah, blah. On how to stop our players thinking about Paris this weekend. Well, it is what it is. On finishing second being our target now. Yes, for sure. Well, good for you. Liverpool, don't care. On what type of teammate Andoni Iraola was when they played in... Who the fuck cares about this as well? On if Bournemouth can challenge us for Champions League football in the seasons come. Yes, they can. On if they do it properly, though. On if not winning the league has hurt big time. Yeah, I understand Liverpool is a team that's being more consistent. Well, that's your fault, isn't it? You had a chance to do it in 3 years. You have not done it once. On is this meant to be our year? Yeah, I never thought like this. It's not that simplistic. Yeah. On how to have fewer injuries next season. Oh, this had to be good. That's another discussion we have. We have so much to play for still in the 2 competitions, Premier League and Champions League. The focus is there. Then, at the end of the season, we have many weeks to reflect. You know? Transfer window opens in June 1st, you moron. To do the work that already preparing to give much better answers. On if working out how to keep more players fit in the game. 2 main things. Play with 11 players, number 1. 38 games if possible. I know he tries to be smart and cheeky and funny, but he just comes out very cocky and very, not gonna lie, moronic. On if this game could have been rescheduled, give us more time, nobody cares. On if he watched Liverpool celebrate win the league, nobody cares. On if he can get motivation from watching rivals celebrating title, nobody cares. On William Saliba links on his future, those kind of things are more for Andrea. See? He usually says in these questions, oh, at the end of the season we will sit down and we will discuss. All of a sudden, everything is being thrown to Andrea Berta. Nobody cares. What I'm concerned because, and that just shows that they don't have the best of relationships still. Things that we have to make. William's very happy here and that's the place where he wants to be. On Martin Odegaard's campaign so far, anyone ready for some elite waffle here? Elite waffle. There were many factors, I think. Obviously, the injury, the long-term injury doesn't help to give you a consistency on the platform to continue the season to be difficult. The level of consistency shown is unbelievable for attacking player to be constantly there. Well, he's constantly shit, to be honest. That's a very big issue there. Very rare because there are always ups and downs, especially the players that are very creative. Where he has been creative in the last year and a half. And they rely on spark. Well, keep shoveling. And creating moments in the game, but there are other aspects of his game to remain intact, and he continues to do it every week. Well, oh, for fucking hell. On squad depth attacking midfield options, we have a lot more on squad depth in the attacking midfield option, we have a lot of options there. Mikel can play in that position. Declan, we have Faith. We have Ethan there in his main position. So why you not use him then? Why? Huh? Why? We have players that can play in both. We have Max Dauman coming up as well very soon, so I'll think in a very good position. Bro. On the achievement of potentially finishing second in the injury list this season. This PR needs to stop. Injuries are part of the game. It's Arteta's fault, Board's fault, Edu's fault, and even Kroenke's fault to some extent that we are not prepared for injuries at the club to be happening. No proper backups, no proper squad depth, and everything as soon as someone gets injured, everyone panics, Arteta changes 50 positions, and all of a sudden everything goes to the toilet. That's on Mikel Arteta. Or whether he's seen difference in Jakub Kivier's confidence. He's so likable. Aww. Ugh. Everybody really loves him in the dressing room. He's very vocal on the pitch. He had a language barrier in the beginning when he joined us. Now he's much more open with the boys and gets really well with everybody. I'm happy. On whether Max Dauman is part of his training of his plans next season. For the near future, yeah, let's see how this evolves. And certainly have big talent. On how Bournemouth high pressing style is similar to PSG, to be honest, it is. On Calafiori, Jorginho and Havertz, I wouldn't rule all them out. Let's see the next few days if we can react. Well, keep waffling. City are winning 1-0, by the way. Forgot to even mention that. City, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne has scored. 1-0 Man City. Anyways, let's see what you're saying in the chat before we end this stuff. I just want players to completely opposite to the crap Mikel buys. Yeah, I'm sick of him doing the same thing over and over, get new pieces of play a new way. Yeah. I respect most of them and not keen on others. Sorry, it breaks your Okay, there's some war going in the chat. This is why he's a clown. Instead of just being real and telling the truth, it's always some half answer that makes you type garbage. Basically, but let's be real, he never answers to a question directly as well, does he? He always beats around the bush. He always says something without saying anything. He's like a politician. He waffles like 2 paragraphs, but at the end of the both paragraphs you have forgotten the question, so you basically accept his waffle because you will not remember the answer you were looking for anyways. Well said, Robbo. Williams isn't the only one. We don't need him. Sign Mikel. Eze. Eberechi Eze. Because Michel it's Olise. I assume you mean that because Michel. Okay, it's Eberechi Eze and it's Michel Michael Olise of Crystal Palace. Nico, who is exactly? Okay, chill in the chat, right? No fights, no nothing. But yeah. Anyways, for the Bournemouth game, for tomorrow, I'm expecting some rotation. The issue is we don't have too many players to rotate with anyways. So I really hope maybe when Yeri starts, maybe Sterling starts. I would love to see Butler Oyedeji start at striker. The midfield most likely is gonna be someone like Odegaard. Merino maybe and stuff like that. Defense, I much would rather start Tierney. Would start maybe, obviously the defense we don't have much rotation. Tierney at the left back, White as a right back, and then obviously center backs. It's kind of annoying that they pick themselves because we have no rotation in that regard. Goalkeeper has to be David Raya because let's be real, we have loaned a goalkeeper from, well, Bournemouth, so hey, and all this stuff, so it is what it is. So at the end of the day, I'm expecting some rotation, I'm expecting some starting players, but one thing I'm praying is that we avoid injuries. I really hope we avoid injuries, because if we get the injury to one of the main guys tomorrow as well, it's gonna get even more frustrating in the fan base. It's gonna be even more heated in the fan base. My mistake, Eberechi Eze, not Michel. Eze is a fast finger. Eberechi Eze, yeah, he's an ex-Arsenal, by the way, as well. He's an Arsenal fan, an ex-Arsenal. Eze would be interesting at Arsenal. Some people want him, some people don't. I have seen very mixed things. The thing about Eze is, though, he's available for about, what, 60 million release clause, if I'm not mistaken. And apparently it can be paid in installments. And we all know that Arsenal love a good installment, so maybe that could be the case. We don't need Nico Williams. He's not the only one greedy. We should sign. I wouldn't mind. Eze, I wouldn't mind. Is Eze a level ceiling raiser per se? Maybe not. But for squad depth, for Odegaard to light the spark up his ass, as people are saying, definitely would be good. He can play multiple positions as well, so wouldn't be the worst. Millionaire footballers, exactly. And the biggest thing is, I get a lot of stick from some fans. Personally, I know that because it's happening in comments, it happens on live streams as well, it happens sometimes on Twitter as well, about the fact that I'm not too I wouldn't be against selling Martinelli if that meant we are getting Gyökeres, for example, because Arsenal maybe need to make one massive basically sacrifice to sign him. I don't rate Martinelli currently as highly as I used to, because for the last 2 years he has been very, very, well, poor, let's just put it that way. He tracks back defensively, that's one thing. But for me, I don't judge attacker for what he does on defense. That is basically by design of Mikel Arteta. That the attackers need to come back. Because Bukayo Saka comes out in interviews and says, I want to attack. But Mikel Arteta says me I have to track back first. Then I hear Mohamed Salah say in interviews that Arne Slot has told me I can do my own thing. I don't have to track back defensively as long as I do my thing on offense. And they, on that right side, they have Trent. And Salah doesn't even have to track back. So they have found a way to kind of also nullify that. So for me, the biggest issue is we want to be a counter-attacking team. Someone said this also yesterday on the stream. We want to be a counter-attacking team with no counter-attacking outlets. Because all the attackers we should be releasing ball to when we go on the counter-attack are playing left wing back, right wing back, because it was around 30th, 35th minute against PSG. One of the loudest cheers in the first half I heard from the crowd was when Bukayo Saka tackled Desiree Doué on the edge of our own box and got the ball back. That is just not the thing you should be doing, should you? They all should be up there. So basically, when you basically get the ball, you have an outlet so you can counter, because other teams have overcommitted their wingbacks forward. So we have technically a man-on-man advantage. And so on top of that, when you spend 300 million on defense and goalkeepers, 250 or 300 on midfield alone, and you still are forcing your attackers to defend, something is wrong. Genuinely, something is wrong. I get it that it happens on occasion, once, twice, maybe 3-4 times a game, but to have it happen the whole goddamn game on consistent basis, so basically we have 11 men in our own end near our box, and then everyone just bumps forward in hopes that we can have some numerical advantage when we go on a counter, for me it's just stupid. I'm not gonna lie, it genuinely is stupid. Oh, I would love for us to sign Rodrigo. Lookman, I wouldn't be against. Desiree Doué as well. Akli Uche, maybe as well. I'm not against those. Mikal Tadze, no. Mikal Tadze, very good for Georgia and for Lyon. He's actually very, very good. Personally, I prefer Pavlidis and Dovbik. That's my personal preference. But Mikal Tadze, as a tall guy, as an outlet, per se, might not actually be, as a backup, not the worst option to some extent. But personally, for me, it's Pavlidis, it is Dovbik, and players like that. Yeah, Sule from Roma is very underrated. Ranieri is generally doing wonders with him, this season. He's actually scored some phenomenally clutch goals for Roma. Roma are 20-0 right now. Gyokeres can lead us to honors if we sign him. That's if we sign him, because there could be still he could go to United. Gyökeres wants Champions League football, and if United win Europa League, they get into Champions League and they have even more ammunition to sign him. I look at them. There are many bowlers that don't have GA I really like. It's just the names that maybe other people don't like. There are some from La Liga. I liked two players from Villarreal. They're the right winger. I forgot his name. Oh, fucking hell. Forgot. Sunset, of course, from Athletic Bilbao, but he's injured right now. Oyarzabal is fantastic. Real like Oyarzabal. Bryce Mendes is very decent. Bereneche is somewhat decent as well. I know I'm naming Real Sociedad players, but it is what it is. Um, what's its face? Las Palmas has that left winger, not Molero, but somebody else who is very, very good. He's also a forward, if I'm not mistaken. I would still love, for example, 8 years ago, I wanted Arsenal to sign Isco, and everyone laughed at me. I'm such a big fan of Isco. That's actually not even funny. Rodriguez from, I think, yeah, Rodriguez from from Real Betis is fantastic. A winger, very fantastic. There are quite a few ballers. They don't get GA, but people just don't want to sign those type of people. All the teams at the top of the leagues, none of their attackers track back, but special Arsenal have. Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah, Quenda is decent. Yeah, Quenda. Omarodi on as well from Porto. Pavlidis, yeah, Pavlidis is fantastic. He went from AZ Alkmaar to what's its face to Benfica and is doing fantastically well there as well. Big up Joseph. Arsenal should go sign the Juventus. Yildiz, yeah, Yildiz is fantastic. To be honest, from if you want Juventus ballers, go sign Conceição. He is fantastic on the ball. He's a very good right winger. Absolutely love watching the guy play. Conceição is another one. Havertz, Zinchenko, Jesus, and Vieira must go. Not gonna lie, with selling those guys, you're opening nearly 700 grand of wages. Only up. Just wages. 700 grand in wages a week. Yeah, Claudia was cooking in Serie A, man. Tell you about football fan. Yeah, lol. Ranieri is cooking with Roma. Roma are 20 games unbeaten still in the Serie A, or 20 games in a row currently. 20 games unbeaten. And that also is big thanks to Sule, because he scored some clutch goals to tie and win games. That's actually fantastic. Dybala as well and everyone. He has built a very solid team. Very solid team. Well, how they play and everything. The patterns of the play and the style they play. It's actually quite interesting to watch at times. Bakayoko, we have been linked with him before, 100%. They only track back when we face top teams like Man City, Liverpool, and Real Madrid. Nothing about wrong in tracking back for now until the personnel outscore teams. Yeah, but that's the thing. Nothing wrong about tracking back. I totally understand it, and I'm all for it. The issue is that when they track back, it kind of limits our attack, and our attack is screwed up as it is. And that for me is a big worry. Unless we sign some proper players in attack, some pace merchants and that guys that can take one-on-one players if we go on a counter, it's a big, big worry. Because since we force our attackers to basically come back to our own box pretty much, if we get the ball, it's really, really rough and it's really tough for our team to basically hit out on a counter and to get some advantage when we get there in their final third, because most of the time we need to stop and recycle the ball, and that is a big thing, big worry for me. That's also kind of ruins our everything, because if you look how we played 2 years ago, it was like night and day compared to now. Havertz is more of a second striker. Havertz is a second striker. He's not like a in behind type of a striker. He's not a midfielder, definitely not a number 8, because I'm already reading that Arsenal potentially could be exploring him as a number 8 next year, and we already saw how that went when we just signed him, and that wasn't a pretty look. Arguably what cost us the game against Aston Villa last year as well, at home. Not a midfielder. I think he's like a between number 9 and number 10, he's like a secondary striker type of role. That for me is him. Arteta said himself he signed Havertz to be a midfielder, by the way. So kind of cannot argue with that, to be honest. What do you mean? I said nothing. Why are you so angry today? What the fuck is wrong with you, seriously? I said nothing. Why are you attacking me right now? Like, Havertz is that bit of a mystery, man. He can play good in multiple positions, but per se, looking at it, he doesn't excel phenomenally at a single position, which makes him very hard to kind of find the proper spot in the team. And at the same time, it also makes him a very dangerous man. The issue is he cannot, the need to perform. Yeah, German national team played him at left back. Yeah, that is also the case. That is also the case. To be honest, last year or 2 years ago in FIFA, he had a very fantastic left back card, by the way. To be honest, Merino is better than Havertz as a striker. Merino is better as a striker, to be honest. But I think if Havertz was in a two-striker formation like he was against PSG in September, next to smaller, more technical, agile attacker like he was to Trossard, I think Havertz actually could do very, very good. But that again, you need the right personnel around Havertz. And that for me is again another big worry, because certain players in our team need specific players around them. And Havertz is one of those that needs specific type of player around them, which is very, very annoying. Because you need to find a specific profile. I hate that word, but I have to say it. Oh, I get it. Better at them then. Because if you don't at it kind of feels like you're attacking me, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, Bournemouth game predictions, by the way. Bournemouth predictions. I'm going... I don't even know what to say. Why not? 2-1 Arsenal. Why the hell not? Because whenever I predict a win, I hopefully win. The thing is, whenever I predict a win in these in-between Champions League games, we usually draw or lose, which is kind of annoying. It pisses me off so I'm actually might go to a draw. I'm gonna say 2-2 draw. 2-2 draw. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not sure where the goals are coming from, but I'm saying 2-2 draw. If Arteta had even one more style of play, would have won a lot more games. Yeah, that is the big thing. That is the biggest thing. If big up G Wills. If Arteta had more styles of play, that we probably would have won more games, definitely. If he could adjust and adapt the tactics and system mid-games, like quite considerably, definitely would give us another dimension. Would help us a lot more. Switch formation, switch tactics and everything. Yeah, Bournemouth are a running team and they're very scrappy. We will play that scrappy football. The thing is, they play similar like PSG are gonna play. So that for me is the biggest worry, especially if since we're gonna rotate quite a bit. If I would assume, it could be Peakham's in that regard. It could be Peakham's, but I'm going 2-2 draw. Just because I want to get at least something positive. Because whenever I predict an Arsenal win in the last 2 months, we lose. Or we draw. So I'm going to go with a draw in hopes that basically I am reversing reverse psychology and reversing the stuff basically going on. That's why it's a draw or a loss. Martinelli is a good player. Big up Joseph once again. Martinelli is a good player. I think he's severely hindered by the fact that he got injured at the wrong time, and he also is ruined by Mikel Arteta's tactics to maximum extent. Because we all saw how good Martinelli can be when we play attacking football, when he can run in open spaces, take on opponents, and everyone's movement is immaculate in pass and move. As soon as Mikel Arteta changed it to control, slow, pragmatic, boring, fall asleep type of football, Martinelli dropped from the face of the earth. And I think that also goes together with Odegaard. As much as I want Odegaard gone based on this season's performances and for the last year and a half, I think that also has kind of hindered the style and the abilities of those two players as well. The guy stood there and watched us get beat by PSG. I changed the tried nothing. Never tried two strikers. Never tried double pivot. The guy can exactly. And he saw him stinking out the place for the Odegaard for 90 minutes, and he brings on basically Manieri in the 90th minute as a courtesy, basically. See, I tried. Basically, that's what it was. And when we need a goal to tie a game, he subs on a defender as well. By the way, not sure what's going on with Timber because he was forced to sub him off. Allegedly. Martinelli's saying is probably Lautaro level, but he will never get there under Mikel. Yeah, that's the thing. I generally believe if we had, let's just say, Hansi Flick as our manager, Martinelli would be phenomenal. Saka would be insane as well if we had Hansi Flick as our manager, 100%. Because they would embrace the strengths of those wingers. They would elevate their strengths, and we definitely would be someone insane. Martinelli needs a fullback he can run off and interchange. Exactly. Remember when Martinelli had that fantastic season when we were playing attacking football? We were... Granit Xhaka from the 8 was overlapping and inverting with Zinchenko, who also was playing in the 8, which allowed them interchange between them three, and it allowed to have open spaces. The defenders didn't know who to focus on. They couldn't double team, for example, Martinelli, because if Xhaka or Zinchenko overlaps, they need to cover that. If he cuts in, he needs to cover Xhaka or Zinchenko, who's playing in the midfield. It basically has ruined the tactics and system Arteta has put out has basically ruined him. I really pray and wish for Arsenal to win a trophy. I do as well. I genuinely do as well. We are only 1-0 down. As awful it was at the Emirates to lose, and it's lucky that it's only 1-0 to a very big extent. We are still within a chance. The issue is, will we embrace it or will we shit our pants in Paris? He was cooking, yeah. For the first 20 minutes or so. After that, Timber actually became again good. I think the nerves settled. Unfortunately, it was due to the goal we conceded. For the first 20 minutes, we got bopped across the pitch. Timber has a knock play, too many... Yeah, Arteta. Martinelli... Why are we not using Martinelli as striker, by the way? We are going to that, by the way. Everyone could win a trophy besides us. Seriously. Spurs and United, Chelsea, everyone's declined. Mid-table teams wins Europa League, wins Conference League, gets into Champions League, all this stuff. What the hell? But anyways, guys, I think I've been live for nearly an hour and a half. I'm gonna hit the food, basically hit the fridge because I'm hungry as hell. And yeah, if you haven't already, by the way, smash the like button. Please do it. Subscribe if you're new here. And see you all tomorrow after the game. After the game, of course, there will be a review. We're going to talk about some bits and bobs here or there as well. So hopefully see you guys then. For today, I am out. Take care, stay safe, have a nice evening. Try and enjoy the game tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow we can win and avoid injuries.